Welcome to Real Estate Radio, hosted by the real estate therapist, Larry Shakman, a top-producing real estate broker, author, CEO, and founder of TrustedAgentUSA.com, the ultimate real estate matchmaker, connecting you with top-performing agents for 2% commission. Each week, we bring you exclusive interviews with industry experts, covering everything from staging to negotiation strategies to home inspection issues and everything in between. Whether you're selling your home, a first-time home buyer, or a seasoned investor, we've got you covered. Let's make your real estate dreams a reality in this fast-moving and ever-changing real estate market. This program is funded in whole or in part by Trusted Agent USA, Illinois license number 475-145-795. Now, here's Larry.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. You are now tuned in to the Real Estate Radio Show. My name is Larry Shakman. I am going to be your host for the next hour, and I'm a broker. I'm a title agent. I'm also your local real estate therapist. So let's dive into today's episode and let's get into some real estate therapy. There's a ton of stuff going on in the real estate market. So let's get into it. Let's do a little house cleaning before we go full throttle here. So we know that real estate is a full contact sport, correct? All right. So if you want to call in, if you have anything going on in your real estate life that you want to talk about, any questions, if you're thinking about buying a house, you're thinking about selling a house, have any questions about appraisals, home inspections, anything like that, you can call or text us at 773-763-9278. 773-763-9278. You can text us or call in, and we are happy to answer any questions or talk with you about any real estate subject matter you may have that you want to explore this morning. And like I said, we'll be here for the next hour. We are also streaming live every Saturday on Facebook at the Real Estate Radio Show podcast, as well as at WCPT 820. So check us out there. We're also on LinkedIn and YouTube at Larry Shakman. So really, you could find us anywhere. We're omnipresent, right, Devin? Omnipresent. Devin's on the board for us today, so thank you for that. Any call-ins, Devin will patch you right through. And so remember, we're not only on the air here at WCPT 820 and streaming all over the internet, but you can catch us wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. So you guys tune in there. Hey, here is the question of the day. In the current market where we find ourselves right now, all things equal, rates, inventory, cost to rent, cost to buy, is it more advantageous to rent in this market, or is it more advantageous to buy in this market? So let me know what you think about that. Give us a call at 773-763-9278. Rent or buy? What do you think? I mean, I know what I think, but what do you guys think out there? I think there's a lot of opinions when it comes to renting or buying right now, because the cost to buy has gone up as interest rates have gone up and prices have gone up. Having said that, when you rent, all you're doing is paying someone else's mortgage. So do you really want to do that? I don't think so. But, everybody's at a different place in their life, and maybe renting is better for you right now. But anyway, give us a call, 773-763-9278, and we can discuss renting or buying. So having said that, let's talk about what we have coming up in the next few weeks. We have some great guests, some fantastic guests are lined up, and they're each going to bring their unique insights to their specific niche in the real estate market. So for instance, on June 8th, we have Randy Langendorfer. Say that 5 times quickly. Randy Langendorfer is the CEO, I believe, CEO or managing partner at InvestArc. And Randy is going to talk to us about fractional real estate investments. And what are fractional real estate investments? Well, what that is if you want to get into real estate investing, but you don't want to be the guy or the lady that has to go over there and fix the hot water heater or get someone to fix the hot water heater, or there's a leak in the roof or something like that, and you don't want to be the person that has to deal with that. Well, fractional real estate investing may be an option for you, because what that is instead of being the driver of the bus on that investment, you are actually kind of one of the passengers on the bus who have invested in part in that investment, whether it's an apartment complex, a single family home, a duplex, whatever it is. Typically, these are larger investments where you're going to be a small part of the total investment, and you will benefit from the profits that come in as you hold that property, whatever it may be. Like I said, an apartment complex, a single family home complex, whatever kind of development it is, you're going to be a small investor, one of the smaller investors that makes that larger investment happen, and you will profit while you hold that property, and you'll profit when you exit that investment. So there's a couple of different strategies there. Randy is going to talk about that. He's been doing it for a while, and it's going to be an interesting conversation. Now, on June 15th, which is the third Saturday of the month, we are always joined by Dane and Sam, managing partners at Property Pals here in Chicago. And they're going to share their expertise. They're into wholesaling. They work with a lot of distressed homeowners that need to find a quick way to sell, and they work with others as well. And they work closely, unlike a lot of wholesalers, they work closely with real estate agents too. So there's a really good partnership there with Dane and Sam at Property Pals. They'll be on June 15th, and on June 22nd, if you're a real estate agent, you do not want to miss this show. June 22nd, we are going to be joined by Joe Peterson. Joe is the CEO of iList Tech. So iList Tech is really something, like I said, you don't want to miss this program if you are a real estate agent. And Joe is going to explain how iList Tech can really take your business to an entirely new level, helping you service your clients and giving them many options when it comes to selling their home. So do not miss that. Again, June 8th is Randy Langendorfer, InvestArc. June 15th, Dane and Sam, managing partners over at Property Pals. And of course, on June 22nd, Joe Peterson, the CEO of iList Tech. Now, stay tuned in the coming weeks, and I would say probably in about 10 days, so probably 2 shows from today, a couple weeks from today, we have super exciting news about a new real estate company, or a real estate company that is coming into the Chicago market. And I think this real estate company is going to be something that catches the eye of a lot of agents, a lot of brokers out there, as well as consumers, because I have never seen marketing like this for home sellers to help them sell their home as quickly as possible for the highest possible price. So there's just some amazing aspects to the way they market properties and the way they help their realtor partners market properties. So stay tuned for that. Like I said, that's going to happen in about 2 weeks. We'll we'll get into that a little bit more. So we're going to jump around on a lot of topics today. And before we get into it, let's take a quick 30-second break, and we will be right back with more Real Estate Radio.
Welcome back to Real Estate Radio, sponsored in part by TrustedAgentUSA.com, the ultimate. Tune in to Real Estate Radio Saturdays at 9 a.m. hosted by the real estate therapist Larry Shakman, a top-producing real estate broker, author, CEO, and founder of TrustedAgentUSA.com. Top-performing agents for 2% commission, saving you thousands when you sell, buy, or invest. Real Estate Radio, the ultimate real estate radio experience. Get insider tips from experts throughout the real estate industry. Streaming live on Facebook at WCPT 820. Trusted Agent USA, Illinois, license number 475145795. Welcome back to Real Estate Radio, sponsored in part by TrustedAgentUSA.com, the ultimate real estate matchmaker, saving you thousands. Now back to Larry, the real estate therapist.
All right, guys, welcome back. And once again, thanks for joining us this morning at the Real Estate Radio Show. Like I said, we got a lot going on. We got about 40 pounds of stuff to stuff into a 10-pound bag. So we may not get to all of it, but we'll get to a lot of it. Some of the things we're going to touch on today are what are the top 10 fastest selling markets in the country. It's really interesting because these top 10 markets, their median price is all over the place. I mean, you're going to see where some of these municipalities, the median price is over $900,000, whereas some of them are under $300,000. And what that tells us is all price points are selling pretty quickly in a lot of markets. But, you know, real estate is very often hard to judge on a national level because it's really very, very local. It's so local that one subdivision can be way hotter than another subdivision, let alone one state or one city from one to another. So we'll take a look at that, the top 10 fastest selling markets. And if we have time, we're going to take a look at key trends in the 2024 or in 2024 cost versus value report. So for instance, if you put a new garage door in and you spend $4,000 to do that, how much money do you get back of that $4,000 expenditure when you go to sell your house? And I think that's going to be kind of interesting too. One thing I also wanted to mention is we'll have my associate and partner on, Michael Lafito with LPT Realty. And Michael's one of the most well-known, I tripped over myself there, but very well-known luxury coach. And he's one of the top luxury listing agents in Chicago Metro. And he helps agents all over the country break into the luxury market. Today, I know he was going to be on today, but he's showing a $7 million home in Chicago. So hopefully that goes well for him. And so those are some of the things we'll touch on. So here, although new listings are up month over month and year over year, pending sales have started to fall off, along with prices starting to level off or even come down a little bit. And in many regions across the country, you're going to find this. But like I said earlier, all real estate is local. So it's very hard to kind of, focus on national trends and pinpoint a national trend because, for instance, here we are in the Chicago market. Bucktown can be going crazy, right? It's a hot area. The West Loop is hot, but maybe there's some other areas in Chicago not far from those two areas that aren't quite as hot. And maybe pending sales have dipped a little bit and prices have started to level off. So very local. And it's hard to really, nail down, hey, this is what's happening in the country real estate wise. That is hard to do because real estate is so local. Like, for instance, Naperville, Illinois is always a very hot market. It's a destination point, and you can get into the city very easily. There's 2 train stations. The downtown area is amazing, and it's always bustling, and there's tons of restaurants and all kinds of boutique shops and things like this. But now, if you go a little outside of Naperville, and just let's say if you go to Plainfield, it may not be as hot, and it may be, but the point is that it's all very, very local. So it really just depends on where you are and what's going on in that particular market in terms of the economy, in terms of people listing their homes. A lot of sellers are still sitting on the sidelines. And why are they doing that? They're sitting on the sidelines because a lot of them have 2.5% and 3% mortgages. So who wants to sell out of a 2.5% mortgage to go into a 7.5% mortgage? And we'll get into that in a little bit when we talk about rates and where we are as far as that goes. So here's something interesting. According to MRED, which is one of the largest MLSs in the country, it's the Chicagoland MLS, which I'm a part of, and all agents in the Chicago metro area are a part of, or most, I should say. Total active listings, they continue to rise in the Chicago metro market, in the residential market, but inventory remains double digits below where we were pre-pandemic. So what does that mean? It means that inventory is low. It means that, like with any market, it's all about supply and demand, right? It's all about supply and demand. So when inventory is low and buyer demand is smoking hot and high, which it is right now, and I'll give you an example of that in a second here, it means that prices are typically going to hold up. They're not going to fall precipitously. And the reason for that is that, hey, there's a lot of buyers out there. There isn't a lot of product out there. There's not a lot of inventory. So prices are typically going to hold up in an environment like that, if you will. And a great example of that, so an associate of mine has a property on the market in Aurora, which is a neighboring subdivision of Naperville, if you're not familiar with the Chicago market. And so she's had this property on the market for, I would say, about 3 weeks. And it immediately came under contract when it came on the market. It's listed at about, I think, 329. And when it came on the market, it immediately came under contract at over $10,000 over list price. It hasn't closed yet, so I'm not going to get into address or a lot of the details because we can't do that until it closes. But so it came under contract almost immediately within a day or two of being on the market, 2 or 3 days of being on the market, for over $10,000 more than its list price. Now, for whatever reason, that sale fell out, which happens sometimes in real estate. We sometimes work with buyers where, they'll go under contract, they'll do a home inspection, and maybe they'll find something they can't really live with, but the seller doesn't want to negotiate that or give a credit. So negotiate the repair. They don't want to do the repair themselves, or negotiate a credit for the buyer to repair whatever they need repaired after they buy the property. If the seller doesn't want to do that, the buyer can terminate the contract. I don't know that that was the case with this property. I don't think it was. I have a feeling they just found a different house they wanted to purchase. In either event, the deal fell apart. And remember, this was sold in a couple of days after being on the market for over $10,000 more than list price. And deal fell out, put it back on the market. And guess what happened? Within another 2 days, it came back under contract for above list price again. So that's an example of what happens when it's a seller's market. When you have a situation where buyer demand is very high and inventory is very low or much lower than we'd like it, then you are going to have situations like that where properties come under contract very, very quickly. So that depletes inventory in the market. And that's one of the reasons why we have low inventory, because a lot of houses just come on the market and go under contract quickly. So, and there's not enough houses that are coming on the market to really speak to the buyer demand that we have out there. So that's another thing that really makes the inventory problem we have kind of challenging. Now, with all of that, like we said, prices are starting to stabilize in a lot of regions across the country. We are having more active listings come on the market, not enough, but more. But as a result of the buyer demand and low inventory, check this out. The median U.S. home price hit new highs. It increased 6.2% year over year. And it's at $433,558. That's the median U.S. home price. So, prices on the whole are still kind of going up here, right? But, again, it's all very, very local. Remember, if you want to talk to us about, is it better to rent now or is it better to buy now? Should you wait until more inventory comes on the market so you have more choices? Should you save more money for that down payment? Do you want to save until you have 20%? You don't have to do that. You can absolutely purchase a home for as little as 0% down if you're using a VA loan, 3.5% down if you're using an FHA loan, and 5% down conventionally, depending on how much your down payment is. So yeah, typically, most people are not generally coming to the table with 20% down, particularly first-time home buyers, because of all these great programs out there. So if you want to talk about, is it better to rent or is it better to buy right now in the current market we find ourselves, give us a call at 773-763-9278. And you can also text us at that number as well. So let's take a look at some other things. Oh, so check this out. California gets a horrible rap, right? All we do, and they have some problems there, let's face it. They have a homeless issue there, and San Francisco has a homeless issue. And, homelessness is an issue all across the country, but California really, really gets hit hard when it comes to the commentary and all the problems with the Golden State. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, the Golden State is still golden when it comes to real estate. And let me give you an example of that. The median home price in California shot up a whopping 15.5% from April 2023 to April 2024. Now, what does that mean? It means that right now, the median home price in California, after having shot up 15.5%, the median home price is just under $905,000. So that is a lot of dough to spend for a house, right? That's the median home price in California. So apparently California's new gold rush is a real estate rush, right? Now, San Francisco, and we're going to get to this in a second after our next break. San Francisco is one of the hottest markets in the country, and San Francisco gets a lot of bad rap about what's going on there. And, the streets are cluttered with homeless people, which is, a real shame. We need to figure that out in this country. But San Francisco is one of the top 10 fastest selling markets in the country. We're going to get to that in a second here. And once we go over our top 10 list, we'll do that after our next break. One more thing I want to cover before we take another break is, so Lawrence Yun is the chief economist at the National Association of Realtors. And, one of his jobs is he likes to prognosticate and kind of look out into the future and see what's going to happen, where are rates going, where are home sales going, where are prices going. And it's not an easy job. It really isn't, because it's a mishmash of a lot of numbers that very often butt up against one another and really don't make sense, because they can be very contrary to one another. So Lawrence Yun, the chief economist at the NAR, he believes, and he recently stated that in his opinion, rates are going to drop in the long term. And I agree with him. They may keep inching up a little bit, and we'll get to rates in a little bit here. But in the long run, he believes that rates are going to drop again. I tend to agree with him when it comes to that. But as a result of that, he also is predicting, and these are some pretty strong predictions here. He's predicting, as a result of rates dropping over the long term, that sales will rise 9% in 2024 and 13.2% in 2025. Far be it from me to, have any great insight into that in terms of the macro view and what's going on in the whole country. Those are some pretty big numbers, though. If we see that happen, that's going to be a great thing. So Lawrence Yun is predicting 9% more home sales in 2024 and 13.2% in 2025. Before we jump into our top 10 hottest markets in the country, we are going to take a quick break. We'll come back with a couple of other quick stats going on in the market, and then we'll jump right into our top 10 list.
Tune in to Real Estate Radio Saturdays at 9 a.m. hosted by the real estate therapist Larry Shakman, a top-producing real estate broker, author, CEO, and founder of TrustedAgentUSA.com. Top-performing agents for 2% commission, saving you thousands when you sell, buy, or invest. Real Estate Radio, the ultimate real estate radio experience. Get insider tips from experts throughout the real estate industry. Streaming live on Facebook at WCPT 820. Trusted Agent USA Illinois, license number 475-145795. Welcome back to Real Estate Radio, sponsored in part by TrustedAgentUSA.com, the ultimate real estate matchmaker, saving you thousands. Now back to Larry, the real estate therapist.
All right, everybody, welcome back. And again, thanks for joining us this Saturday morning for the Real Estate Radio Show. Remember, you can catch us streaming on Facebook at WCPT 820 AM. You could also catch us streaming on Facebook at the Real Estate Radio Show podcast. So check us out there, and check us out wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And Devin, thanks again for being on the board for us and taking care of everything. So before we jump into this list that I want to get to of the top 10 hottest markets in the country, and I think you're going to be surprised by the just breadth of median prices in these top 10 markets. I want to talk about one other thing real quickly. So, and this goes along the lines of what we talked about earlier. Is it better to rent now, or is it better to buy? The cost to buy has gone up because interest rates have gone up. The cost to purchase has gone up because not only have interest rates gone up, but prices have continued to go up, even though, like we mentioned, they're starting to level off and even go down in some parts of the country. And that might be the case by you, but like I said, it's all local. So, according to Core Logic, the national the cost to rent a 3-bedroom home in the US increased by 3.4%. So this brings us back, because if you're in a place where rents are going down, and but however, the cost to buy is not, as a result of higher interest rates, as a result of prices continuing to go up, then is it better to rent? Because, with rents going up 3.4%, those have also, spiked, and have spiked over the last, I would say, 2 years. Uh, let's just say 2 years. Rents have continued to spike. They're starting to level off now. So rent or buy, who knows? You can call us and comment on that if you'd like. It's 773-763-9278. You can text us as well. Better to rent or buy? Who knows? I mean, I think it depends on your specific situation. Like we always like to say, life drives real estate. So for one, it might be better to purchase right now. And for others, it might be better to rent. But what I would keep in mind is this: when you're thinking about those two things, remember, when you're renting, you are paying somebody else's mortgage. You are not going to reap the benefits and the profits and the rewards of when you stay in a home for 15 years, and while you're paying down your mortgage, your equity is going up, because in most cases, and the vast amount of cases, real estate is going to appreciate. So you're paying it down, it appreciates more, your equity goes up more. And so I would think about that very carefully. If you're in a position to purchase, I would think about continuing to rent very carefully, because in my opinion, you're probably throwing money away. And no one likes to throw money away. So having said that, oh, yeah, one other thing, and I wanted to make this clear. Yes, rents have gone up about 3.4%. However, in many, many cities around the country, and yours might be one of them, rents are actually going down. Like, for instance, in Austin, Texas, I don't know how many of you have ever been to Austin. It's a great city. It's really very vibrant, great music scene, tons of restaurants, always a hot real estate market. They're typically a hot real estate market, but rents actually are going down in Austin, Texas. So there's a super high profile market where rents are actually going down, even though the national trend was rents have gone up 3.4%. And that's where we like to say that real estate is all local. So, look at national trends, and keep in mind that might not equate to what's going on in your local market. So let's get in now to the top U.S. cities where homes are selling faster than anywhere else, or than most places. So remember, again, if we're in a seller's market where buyer demand is still very high, however, inventory is still low, and struggling to get to the point where buyers are going to have more choices, then prices are typically going to hold up and homes are typically going to sell faster, because you could potentially, if you price your home correctly, and we'll get into this on another show, but if you price your home correctly, and if you market it correctly, which is huge, and that's why I'm excited about this new company coming into the market, because it's going to really give sellers a chance to put their marketing on steroids and just blast it. So it's going to give sellers a chance to really position their properties on the market in an explosive way with many different types of media and many different avenues where they can get that property out in front and hopefully get a lot of eyes on it when they first come on the market, because that's how you drive the price of your home up. And that's how you potentially get multiple offers on your property when you first come on the market. Get as many eyes on it as possible. So let's take a look at these markets now that are just smoking hot. And we're going to start off with the market that is the hottest and go down from there. So the first market we're going to take a look at is Manchester, New Hampshire. So in Manchester, New Hampshire, the median days on the market is 19. So what that means is you come on the market within 19 days, you are typically going to be under contract and waiting to close. And, you know, once a property gets under contract, there's a lot of other steps to take. You have to, you're going to want to have a home. You don't have to, but I would suggest everybody does this. You want to have a home inspection. Your lender, if you're financing it, is going to order an appraisal. And so there's other steps you're going to go through. But within 19 days in Manchester, New Hampshire, your property will typically be under contract. And here's the median price in Manchester, New Hampshire is just under $550,000. 549.9. So that's Manchester, New Hampshire, 19 days. The next property, the next municipality where it is the fastest selling is Rochester, New York. I've never been to Rochester, but median days on the market in Rochester is 22. And it's tied with our next municipality we'll talk about in a second here. But so Rochester, 22 days on the market is the median days on the market, and the median home list price in Rochester is 279.9. So Manchester 549.9 median list price, Rochester, New York 279.9, and they are the second fastest selling market in the country, and they are tied with, and this is going to blow your mind, they are tied with another market in California. Remember, we talked about California gets a bad rap. However, they're still the Golden State when it comes to real estate. And here's a good example of that. San Jose, California, where median days on the market is 22 days, and they're tied with Rochester. They're both at 22 days. But check this out. The median home list price in San Jose is just under $1.5 million. It's $1,481,397. That is crazy. So the difference between Rochester, New York, where the median days on the market is 22, and the difference between San Jose, California, where median days on the market is also 22, the median home price in Rochester is $279.9, and the median home price in San Jose is $1,481,397, just a tad under 1.5 million. So look at that stretch. Look at that gap between median home list prices. And what that tells us is the market is still hot in many regions in all price ranges. Now we know California is more expensive, so obviously that's going to speak that price difference is going to speak to that as far as California being more expensive. Okay, number 4, Worcester, Massachusetts. I used to live in North Pembroke, Massachusetts, which is across the bay from Boston. I used to live there years ago. And Worcester, Massachusetts, median days on the market, 23 days. By the way, all of these that we're going to go through, median days on the market is under 30 days. So Worcester, Massachusetts, median days on the market, 23. Median home list price in Worcester, Massachusetts is just under $500,000, $499,999. $999. So that is kind of in line with Manchester, where the median home days on the market is only 19, and the median home price is list price, I should say, is 549.9. So Worcester and Manchester kind of close in terms of median list price. Now here's another one in Massachusetts, number 5. Boston, Massachusetts is the 5th fastest selling market in the country. Now, days on the market, median days on the market in Boston, 24. So just a tad more than Worcester, but median home list price in Boston, large metropolitan area, $879,950. So Boston, Massachusetts, also very hot market, where the median home list price is approaching $900,000. So let's continue on here. And remember, we talked about California, and I mentioned San Francisco earlier. Well, San Francisco is the 6th fastest selling market in the country. Now, median days on the market in San Francisco is 27 days. So you can expect to be on the market for 27 days in San Francisco before you come under contract. Now, the median home list price in San Francisco, and again, we're talking about a very expensive area. It's not as much as San Jose, but it's still up there. It's just under $1 million median home list price, $999,000. San Francisco is the 6th fastest selling market in the United States. So that's moving on now. Springfield, Massachusetts. So we're seeing, Massachusetts pop up here 3 times. We've already seen California pop up here twice. In Springfield, Massachusetts, the median days on the market is 27. You're going under contract in about 27 days in Springfield, Mass. Now, the median home list price, though, in Springfield, Mass, is right around $350,000. Now, that's getting more into the bread and butter house. Now, here in Chicago Metro, if you I want to make sure I'm talking right into the mic here so everyone can hear. Here in Chicago Metro, if you have a house on the market in that bread and butter price range, 350 to 500 even, and you market it correctly and you stage it correctly, and you're working with a real estate broker that has a strategy on how to position your house on the market and how to price your home, that house in all likelihood will not be on the market for more than a week before it comes under contract. I've seen this over and over and over again in our Chicago metro market, and I'm guessing that this is the case in a lot of regions around the country. If you're in that bread and butter price range between 350 and 500, and you've done everything right, you've checked off all the boxes when it comes to pricing and marketing, and you're working with a broker that knows what they're doing, then you can expect to be under contract pretty quickly. So that is Springfield, Massachusetts. They're number 7. Number 8, we're winding down here. Number 8 is Columbus, Ohio. Columbus, Ohio, median days on the market is 29. And that's tied with our next one. Columbus, Ohio, the median home list price, again, is right in that bread and butter price range. They're right at about $380,000 as far as their median home list price. So again, if you're in that price range and you do everything right, and you're working with a broker that really, or if you're selling it by yourself and you do everything right and you're selling it by owner and you check off all the boxes and you price it right, market it right, stage it right, and know how to negotiate and, make it available to all the people that want to see it, you are typically going to be off the market in 29 days, and you'll find yourself under contract. So here's the next one, number 9, and number 9 is tied with number 8, Columbus, Ohio. Number 9 is Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So not far from where I'm sitting right now in Chicago. And Milwaukee, Wisconsin, median days on the market, as with Columbus, is 29 days on the market. So again, under 30 days, you're going to be under contract in Milwaukee if you check off all the boxes and do everything right. The median home list price in Milwaukee, again, is right in that bread and butter range. It's right around $365,000. So again, if you are in that bread and butter price range, make sure you're doing everything right, because if you play your cards right, there's a really good chance that you will actually get more than your list price, or as I like to call it, your starting price. And the reason I call it a starting price is because if you do it all right, and if you price it right, market it right, and get it out there in front of people and get a lot of eyes on it right from the get-go, there's a very good chance you are going to get more than what you're actually asking for your home and more than your starting price. Okay, number 10 is Seattle, Washington, the home of grunge, right? That's where grunge started. Am I right, Devin?
Yes.
Okay, good. He agreed with me. So Seattle, Washington is median days on the market is 29. So 29 days on the market in Seattle. But now in Seattle, Washington, we're getting back up into that upper price range again. So in Seattle, the median home list price is actually $767,875, so a little under $770,000. And here's what I mean by the fastest selling markets. There's a wide range of median prices that range from $280,000 in Rochester, New York, and all the way up to in San Jose, California, where the median home price is a little under 1.5 million. So that tells us that in all different markets, homes are still selling pretty fast if you check off all the boxes and do all the things you need to do to get it sold fast. We're going to be back in 30 seconds to wrap everything up, and we will see you soon.
Tune in to Real Estate Radio Saturdays at 9 a.m. hosted by the real estate therapist Larry Shakman, a top producing real estate broker, author, CEO, and founder of TrustedAgentUSA.com. Top performing agents for 2% commission, saving you thousands when you sell, buy, or invest. Real Estate Radio, the ultimate real estate radio experience. Get insider tips from experts throughout the real estate industry. Streaming live on Facebook at WCPT 820. Trusted Agent USA Illinois, license number 475145795. Welcome back to Real Estate Radio, sponsored in part by TrustedAgentUSA.com, the ultimate real estate matchmaker, saving you thousands. Now back to Larry, the real estate therapist.
All right, you guys, we are back. Thanks again for joining us on Real Estate Radio this Saturday morning from 9 to 10. We're here every Saturday, 9 to 10 a.m. from the studios of WCPT, 8:20 a.m. right here in Chicago. And we're glad you had a chance to join us today. Real quick, before we go, I want to let everybody know that if you'd like to get a copy of my new book, The Top 10s of Real Estate, and these are 32 proven top 10 real estate lists that are going to help you maximize your profit when you sell, buy, or invest. It's going to talk about a lot of the things we talked about today, whether it be selling, buying, appraisals, any number of things in real estate. It's going to give you a top 10 list on all of these subjects that you really want to follow and why you want to follow them. So if you want to get a free copy of the top 10s of real estate, just text the word book and your email address to 630-921-0611. That's 630-921-0611. Just text the word book and your email address, and we will get you a free copy of the ebook, The Top 10s of Real Estate. And believe me, there's a ton of information in there that I draw from 24 years of experience in selling hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars in real estate that I want to pass on to you. And hopefully you can avoid some of the mistakes I made when I first started investing in real estate and even buying real estate. So remember, 630-921-0611. Just text the word book and your email address, and we will get you a copy of that book out. Before we wrap up, I want to encourage everybody in the Chicagoland market to visit my associate Ishu at a property that he's going to be doing an open house at. And I'm going to show you a picture of this property. This open house is on Sunday from 3 to 5 p.m. It's at 3102 White Oak Lane in Oak Brook. It's a 5-bedroom, 6.5 bath house. It's 12,000 square feet of just a gorgeous, gorgeous property. And it sits on 3 acres in Oak Brook, Illinois. So it is just an amazing property, in-ground pool in the backyard. Like I said, 5 bedrooms, 6.5 baths, a little under 12,000 square feet of just pure luxury. The basement, you would die for that basement. And it's a great property. So go check it out. It's 3102 White Oak Lane. It's currently listed for $4.295 million. And all the best finishes, amazing space, amazing living space, great outdoor space as well. Sits on 3 acres in Oak Brook, Illinois. Go check it out this Sunday, 3 to 5 p.m. Having said that, I want to thank everybody for joining us today on the Real Estate Radio Show. Check us out next Saturday and every Saturday at 9 a.m. on WCPT, 8:20 a.m. Happy selling, happy buying. See you next Saturday.
Tune in to Real Estate Radio Saturdays at 9 a.m. hosted by the real estate therapist Larry Shakman, a top producing real estate broker, author, CEO. Thanks for joining